Hey guys, I'm Ashing. Welcome to That Little Soy Thing. Okay, so the other day I was in Dublin and I got a load of mangas that I said I was going to do a review on. So the first one I want to do a review on is Seraph of the End Vampire Reign Volume 1. Now I just got this, I just saw this and I saw that it came with a free poster. And so I said, all right, I have to buy it. But it looked really good, and I already knew from looking at, here I'll show you the picture. I already knew when looking at this guy that I was gonna love him because he's just so cute and adorable. I know now that his name is Yoshi, I think. But yeah, I already loved him. But anyway, let's get started on the review. Okay, so I'm going to start off by talking about the first chapter, which is called The World of Blood Legacy. And I just want to say, first of all, I love the artwork in the beginning of it, when it's just showing the premise of the story. I just love that. I thought it was so good. But yeah, I also really like Yu's determination. He's so determined to kill all of the vampires. He's a lot like Eren from Attack on Titan, because Eren was always crazy about killing all the Titans, but he's a bit more funny than Eren, because while Eren was terrified of the Titans but also hating them, he was very cautious of being around them, but just because they were so giant and terrifying. But with Yu, he's literally walking past them as they're going down the street going "Hear me, I will kill you!" It's what the hell? Dude, they can crush your head, and what are you doing? But yeah, I really like his attitude. I think it's hilarious. I said in earlier videos that I thought that Attack on Titan was kind of connected to veganism sort of a way, because it shows how terrifying it would be if a human was put in the position of an animal to become like cattle, to be treated like livestock. And in this manga, it's heavily hammered in that that's exactly what the humans are there for, because the vampires even telling them oh, you live solely at the mercy of our vampires. All we ask from you is your blood. And you see them saying things what do you think I am? A cow? A chicken? It's so... It really shows the terrifying reality of being raised as and ready to be killed at any moment, and just being kept alive purely for the sake of someone else's pleasure. But it's really scary. I really like the dynamic that Yu and Mika have in their partnership. I like how Yu is kind of the muscles of the two of them, while Mika is the brains. And Mika is able to see rationally that no, we cannot defeat the vampires just by going strong alone. We need to be smarter than that. But Yu is so determined. How else can we defeat them unless we get strong and be able to fight them off? And no, Mika is a bit more sensible than that. I also think that Mika giving up his blood to the noble for money is very interesting. It's in this world, it's kind of the equivalent of selling your body, and you got very upset with him about it, because it felt he was. I guess you felt Mika was giving in to their control. He was allowing them to take advantage of him. But yeah, it's also really sad for such a young boy to have to do something like that, to have to do something that's so painful just for the sake of staying alive and keeping all of his friends and family alive. That's really sad. I liked hearing about Yu and Mika's backstories, but along with how the vampires took over the world. But I wish that we would have gotten to know the characters for a bit longer, just to know more about their personalities and everything, because we just were briefly introduced to them, and then we found out everything that happened in their past. I feel it would have had more of an emotional pull on us if we had more time to grow attached to the characters before learning about their backstory so quick. I also like how Yu, Mika, and Akane kind of worked together as kind of acted like the parents for the younger kids. I thought that was really sweet, and I love that. I love the family dynamic that they had. That was so cute. I also wanted to say that when Mika came back after giving his blood to the noble, I had a feeling that the vampire did a lot more than just take his blood, because you kept asking him what happened, what did he do to you, and then you just didn't answer. He just like had a sad look on his face, and that just felt really eerie and scary. And I kind of felt like I was very scared because he's such a small like little boy, and then there's a possibility that he could have been taken advantage of. Oh God, that's so terrifying. I just want to give him a hug. Poor little boy. Okay, may I just say, when I first heard of when Mika first gave his plan, I knew straight away it was going to fall to shit. I just knew something was going to go wrong. And I just had the feeling that either him or Kane was going to die. I just knew it. I had that good feeling like someone's going to die. And gosh darn it, wouldn't you know it, the vampire noble found them. And straight away, everything becomes crazy and hectic. Like, there are kids dying left, right, and center. Like, Mika's face is just like falling apart. Like, like his entire family's getting killed. Kane gets killed. So yeah, just pretty much what I expected. Like, everything falls to shit. And my other prediction was right. Mika ends up dying. Well, dying. He sacrifices his life so you can get far away. You grabs the gun just before it falls out of Mika's hands, shoots the vampire in the head, and yeah, Mika dies. But right before he dies, Yu calls them family for the first time. It's like, fuck. But even though it was an emotional scene, I still felt like it would have meant more if he'd grown to learn more about their friendship and just know more about them as characters. But just straight away get a heartbreaking scene like that, it doesn't really connect with you emotionally because you don't know the characters that much. You just met them. And the chapter ends with us finding out that human society isn't completely ruined, and there's still a load of buildings that are built, and a group of kind of soldiers come up and they greet you and ask him to join them. Okay, so now I'm going to start talking about chapter 2, which is called Humanity After the Fall. Okay, so first, in the very beginning of this chapter, we see Yu again, and now it's 4 years later, and he's 16. We see him wearing the uniform that he's wearing on the cover. Show you guys again. Yeah. But and straight away he gets in trouble from disobeying orders again, and well, not really again, because we haven't really seen him disobeying anyone before, but just what you'd expect from him, just not being cooperative. And so yeah, he goes and he kills a monster when he was specifically ordered not to. And yeah, so he gets in trouble for that and he gets suspended and he has to attend school then. And we learn from this, I don't know what her name is, Shinoa. We learned from this security woman who works for the demon army, I guess. She's analyzing him and his progress. And we learned from her that unless he is able to make friends he's not able to become part of the demon army. Oh, we also learn who the people were at the beginning, the people who approached him at the end of chapter 1. We learned there was actually a small group of humanity that was left, and they're coming together to try and recover the world. And yeah, so he was waiting to be brought in the vampire extermination unit, and there was one point where Shinoa brings up his past and says that's the reason why he's so closed off from people, why he's so against making friends or finding romance. And he gets mad at her and tells her that all he needs is to become part of a vampire extermination unit. And Shinoa hands him a letter from the corporal. And it's so funny. To put it to put it in short terms, he basically says, we don't need no virgins with no friends. Oh my god, that was so funny, and it just, how unprofessional it was, I just thought it was hilarious. And next, straight away after that, we see a kid who is being bullied, and Yu goes up to try and stop the bullies, but then he hears from Shinoa that if he like fights, if he hits anyone or hurts any of the students, then he's going to be suspended for a longer amount of time. So yeah, so basically he starts a fight and he's not able to fight back as soon as the first punch is swung. So yeah, that was tragic. But and Yoichi, the kid who is getting bullied, keeps apologizing to him afterwards, and I feel like I already loved him before, just from like, I knew how cute he was. Just from the picture alone, I knew what kind of character he'd be. He'd be the cute one. He would be the Armin Arlert of the show. he's just the adorable one. But when I saw that like he keeps apologizing, like, oh, it just got me in the heart, because I'm just like that. Literally all my friends, like my boyfriend, my like rugby experience player, everyone keeps saying to me, stop saying sorry so much. And yeah, so I just, oh, like, oh, I feel you. I feel you, Yoichi. But I also thought it was interesting. I liked that Yoichi was wanting to become part of the demon army. I liked hearing about his backstory, about what happened to his sister and the guilt that he feels. Yeah, I really want to learn more about his sister, to be honest. Like, I hope that we see that in future volumes. But yeah, I want to know more about their relationship. All I know is that she was protective of him, obviously, since she was protecting him from the vampire and died to save him. But yeah, I'd like to learn more about her. And yeah, and then Yu pretty much tells him, Yoichi keeps saying that like he feels so ashamed for hiding. Then Yu tells him that he was right to hide, or else he would have died too. And then he says, your sister doesn't want revenge. And then he goes the dick route, and he says, a wimp like you would get in the way anyway. Dude, this, like, he made him start crying, and I was like, dude, no. Like, I do like you. Like, even after all the times when he's annoyed me so far, I still do like his character. I like his determination, and I understand his mindset. But yeah, he's a dick. I love him, but he's a dick. And straight away after he starts making Yoichi cry, emergencies start going off because a vampire has escaped. And Yu, being the dumbass he is, goes after the vampire. And Yamanaka, he goes after the vampire. He goes looking for where the vampire is, and he passes a teacher on the way, and he asks the teacher, like, where is the vampire? He says, don't go after it, it's in my classroom. Why would you tell him where it is if you don't want him to go after it? Like, ugh, so stupid. But yeah, but he goes to the classroom, he pulls out a sword, and he sees a girl that, like, he sees the guy who, Yamanaka, the guy from before who was, like, bullying Yoichi, who said that he was going to be part of the demon army. And he sees a girl who's in trouble. So he says, Yamanaka, go save her while I fight off the vampire. And he says, what? No, I'm not part of the demon army, I lied. And it's like, and then I was on Yu's side then, when he felt like, for fuck's sake, everyone is so fucking useless. Like, oh god, like, as if he didn't need more reason not to trust people. But yeah, I liked how straight away after that though, Yoichi tackles the vampire down. I was like, yes, I love you. Oh, Yoichi, it's already stolen my heart after just for the few scenes I've seen him, he's already stolen my heart. But one thing I have to say though is that the dialogue is really cliche in the manga sometimes, like and it doesn't fit with the tension of the scene usually. And like straight away after Yoshi tackles the vampire to the ground, Yu was like, dude, thank you so much. And then Yoshi's like, well, we're friends, right? And it's like, that just seemed really forced with, like, you're under attack from a bloodthirsty creature who is way stronger than you, and you stop in the middle to, like, have a brief moment to just, like, have that little tiny sincere moment. When, no, you did not need that. Like, the end of the chapter was enough to solidify their friendship. You did not need that little tidbit. That was just annoying and useless. Sorry. That just really upset me. But anyway, the colonel saves you right before the vampire is about to kill him. And then we learn, and then he pretty much says, like, he still doesn't want to take him into the army, even though he says, I've proven myself, what more do you want? He says he still doesn't want to take him in or recruit him to the army because he still hasn't made friends. But then he sees that he's made friends with Yoshi, when Yoshi comes up to him crying his eyes out saying like, oh, I was so worried about you, and he hugs him and everything. And so yeah, I really liked that end chapter. I felt like if they left it at that instead of adding in that little bit of, well, we're friends, right? That would have been so much better. It would have been way less cheesy. Way less cliche. It would have been better. I would have liked it more. I just felt like, I know, you did not need to add that in. I'm sorry, I'm ranting about this now. But yeah, and then pretty much at the end of the chapter, oh no wait, what was I gonna say? Alright, Yu has a dream while he's unconscious, where he sees his family and Mika like walk away, like his family from the orphanage, and Mika just walk away from him once he's made a friend. And that was actually really sad. Like, I felt really bad about that. Like, that was because, like, I guess that's why he didn't want to make friends, was because he was afraid that it'd be like giving up on his family and his friends he used to have. But yeah, that was really sad. I really liked that. I thought that was brilliant writing. And straight away when he wakes up, you see Shinoa's face. She looks really sad for a moment, and she says nothing, as if she understands his pain just by looking at him. Like, she noticed that he was crying, and she just has a blank expression, but you can kind of see, like, there's this underlying worry in her. Like, she's just concerned about him. But yeah, and then yay, at the end of the chapter, the hands go together, which represented their team. So yay, everything's good, happy, yay. Okay, so the final chapter I want to talk about is the third one, and it's called The Demon in Your Heart. Now, it first starts off with a girl confessing to Yu, and this was the girl that he saved during the battle with the vampire, and she was confessing her love to him. It just made me smile. It was just so innocent and sweet. But and he was just so confused, like he didn't know what to do. He was just blushing like, I don't have time for this. It was just so cute. I like that. It was a nice little character touch. But we also find out that the reason why being a virgin is so bad in this world is because they're encouraging people to reproduce in order for it to build up the human race again. And Shinoa is very enthusiastic about people breeding. She's like, yes, civilians, breed! Make more soldiers for our armies. I'm like, oh god, I really like her. She's very blunt. Like, she's kind of like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, in the sense that, like, she sees everything like in a very narrow-minded perspective of, like, as fact instead of like putting in human emotion into it. She yeah, she's fun. She's really funny. I want to see more of things like her where we're in situations like that. She seems really cool. But she shows Yu her demon weapon, and typical, Yu threatens to take her weapon from her, which is so annoying because, like, first you know he's never going to be able to take it from her because you just know she's way stronger than him just from her position alone, and it's annoying for him to do that because it just shows like how much like how little he cares about forming connections with people. I mean, I know that is his character arc, and he needs to build up to a point where like he can feel like he can allow people in and trust them, but it's just getting to that place is just annoying, just because I don't like his attitude. Okay, so next we see that the bullies who used to go after Yoichi, minus Yamanaka, start coming after Yoichi because they want to get a favor from him. And so pretty much what happened was Yamanaka it ended up like going into the Forbidden Chamber, which is a place where nobody's allowed to go, and they want to make sure, and he hasn't come out, so they want to make sure that he's okay. So since Yoichi and Yu are going to become part of the demon army, they want to see if they could do anything to stop him from being executed for committing that crime. And straight away, Shino just knocks him down and says, "No, he is going to be killed, and there's nothing you can do about it." And she's just so blunt with it, and she's just so cold and blunt about it. Like you can tell like she doesn't know how to add in human emotion to this. She sees things as fact instead of as she doesn't take in. She sees things as fact, like I said with Sheldon. She says things as they are, as the rules go, but she doesn't take in humans' emotions. But yeah, and once again, you rushing in to attack once again, and Shiro tells him not to touch the demon's weapon, because if he touches it with his bare hands, then it will make him go, and it will take control. The demon will take control over him, and it makes him mad that she would think he would be able to be overpowered by a demon. So fucking smartest idea ever. He runs over and he grabs hold of it to prove to her that he's not going to be overcome by it, and that just annoyed me so much. Like, I know like it ends up being the right thing to do, and he was able to. Everything did turn out fine, but just then it just pissed me off. Because he had no guarantee that he would be able to survive it. He just like went by his mind, like what he was thinking was going to happen. Yeah. He ends up, but once he's overtaken by the demon, kind of, he ends up dreaming about Mika, because that's what the demon does. It takes your biggest weakness basically, and they use it against you. So he saw Mika and all the orphanage kids, and Mika was telling him that he needs to get revenge for them, which like really hurt him, because that's what he's trying to do and he hasn't been able to do yet. And then Yu figures out that this is Mika, because he knows that Mika would never ask for revenge, because he's too nice of a person to do that. And I like that. I like that little insight into their friendship. Like, we understood a bit better about how much trust and faith he had in Mika. But since he ends up being able to fight off the demon inside his mind, so he wakes up, he saved Yamanaka, and because he was able to defeat the demon, he is now able to start classes. And so, yeah, awesome. It was pretty good. I really liked the scene where he was talking to Mika, the imaginary Mika, who came into his mind and was manipulating him. But yeah, I thought that was very well written. I liked that a lot. But also, we see at the very end, Mika is alive, and not only that, but he's a vampire. And I think right before we see him, we see a noble walking up, and he looks like the same noble from the beginning in the first chapter, who ended up like killing all of the orphans and everything. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens with him. I like Mika's character a lot so far. I think he's very selfless. I think, well, with what I've seen of him, maybe now he's a vampire and might be a bit different, but he seems to still care about you, since the noble vampire kept saying like, oh, it's your precious you, like the one that's so dear to you. And so, yeah, I really look forward to reading the next one. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video.